Well, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are betting big on space through their companies SpaceX and Blue Origin. Their efforts have shed light on the opportunities for the broader space industry, including here in Canada. But what's the right policy framework to ensure Canadian companies play a notable role in the space economy? Gallant spends a lot of time thinking about that. The former Premier of New Brunswick now leads Space Canada, which represents a number of space-related companies, big and small, and he joins us here in studio. It's nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
And I think maybe it's because of those well-known tech entrepreneurs and more, there's a lot more conversation around not just space travel, but the actual industry surrounding space. What have you learned during your time at Space Canada?
Well, I started 2 years ago, and exactly to your point, when they approached me about this opportunity, I was obviously curious, as any Canadian would be, right, working in the space sector. But I wanted to know, what does it mean for Canadians? What does it mean for people around the world? And what I came to realize is, exactly to your point, there are massive economic opportunity with the space sector. There are ways in which space can help us tackle global challenges like climate change. It can help us protect our oceans, our forests. It can help us with defense, security, sovereignty. It can help agriculture be more sustainable. It can help through telecommunications, rural, indigenous, remote communities to get connected and have all the economic opportunity that they should enjoy. So it really is an exciting time for the sector, and I think it can really have immense benefits for our country and people around the world.
When it comes to new, Canada, in many ways, has always been at the forefront. We have great talent that works on new ideas, new projects. That has certainly been true in space as well. So how would you describe, I guess, for lack of a better word, the ecosystem we've been developing here in Canada?
We have amazing players, whether it be in the private sector, in academia, NGOs, think tanks, and governments that have made some pretty important investments throughout the years, and that spans different governments, to advance our capabilities when it comes to space. That said, people in the space ecosystem right now would say, yeah, that's all great, and it's given us a foundation in which we have the ability to seize the economic opportunity, the environmental opportunities, the vast opportunities that space represents, but we can't rest on our laurels, right? We can't just sort of say, yeah, I mean, we've been doing really cool things in space for decades. We're sort of at the forefront of it, because other countries are seeing the same numbers that we're seeing in terms of projected growth of this global space economy. Some say it'll go to $1 trillion by 2040. Some even say $2 trillion by 2040. And other countries are investing, and they're getting organized, and they're ensuring that they're going to be in a position to seize as many of these economic opportunities as possible. So Canada is in a different type of space race, so we can't rest on our laurels. We can't sit on our hands.
So I guess, going back to my point about early leads and great talent, the other reality is that sometimes we lose that lead when it comes to growing businesses to the size and scale that then obviously, talk about the businesses, quite frankly, that those space entrepreneurs in the U.S. built before they got into the space business. Is it important to have a framework that would support growing our businesses here at home in a bigger way? Yeah,
very much, and very much so. But like any kind of Canadian industry, collaboration is okay and competition is all right. But again, the type of competition we're now facing is very real from other countries. So we're really trying to encourage all stakeholders, including governments, the federal government especially, to really double down, prioritize space. A recent report that was released by Deloitte makes the case that Canada, if it can seize the same percentage of the projected global space economy as it enjoys of the general economy currently, we could have a $40 billion space economy by 2040. I mean, that's amazing, and would provide immense economic opportunity and jobs and innovation to our country. So if we can do what needs to be done now, we'll be able to enjoy and reap a lot of the benefits that are going to be coming from this sector.
And what do you think is the recipe towards that? Is it, because we talk about investing money from around the world to, fund our businesses, fund Canada. Is it a matter of figuring out the best way to find capital? Is it other things that would support the growth?
Well, the first thing I would say is to prioritize space, which to me means that we all have to start to sort of understand what space means in today's economy and what it will mean in the future. So it's about telecommunications, it's about Earth observation, it's about a lot more than sort of what we normally hear about space, which is exploration and tourism. So it's really going to become a backbone, the backbone of our economy, and it kind of already is that. So that's number one. Number two, I would like to see the federal government restructure its governance of space. The laws, the procedures, the programs, a lot of them were sort of developed decades ago. And since then, the space sector has changed immensely. It has emerged. The functions of space are sort of morphing before our eyes. So we got to get caught up, and we got to figure out a way to govern space and collaborate and ensure that we're making the right investments all that much more intently if we're going to grab the economic opportunity.
How's the conversation going so far?
Good. And look, I want to be really fair. I mean, again, decades, governments throughout those decades have invested in space, and we're appreciative. This current government has made some massive investments in space as well. We would argue, though, that if we can have a better governance structure, copying sort of what the U.S. does with their National Space Council, we'd be able to bring all the right players within the federal government. They'd be able to liaise all that much more nimbly with industry, with academia, with all the other stakeholders in the space sector. And we'd be able to, I think, better be positioned to seize the economic opportunity. If we don't do that, it's a bit clunky. It's a bit sort of, this department has to do this, and then this department doesn't really necessarily have the ability to ask that department to do X, Y, Z that would be helpful to the space sector. And if we kind of keep that going, I feel like we're going to find ourselves behind the 8 ball. So the U.S. has the National Space Council. We would argue that would be a great way to prioritize space moving forward. Okay,
we'll see what happens. And I know there's a lot with the space business aside from space tourism, but do you think Canadians are going to be making trips to space at some point in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, absolutely. And look, space tourism is not what the space economy is all about, but it's interesting, and it captures people's sort of attention and
keeps that conversation going.
And then from that extent, I mean, we appreciate it because it kind of makes people think about space again, and it also helps build some innovations to. When they're sending people up, that obviously helps us be able to launch other things that much more effectively. So there's some good that comes from it for sure.
All right.